Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Katie at KatieMFitness, and today I have a chair workout for you. So, today I'm going to be using some equipment. I've got a ball, a band, and a set of weights, and we're going to be doing mostly strength training in the chair. We'll warm up with some cardio and probably do some cardio throughout, but the majority of the focus for this exercise routine is going to be on strength. So I will try to remember and give modifications for these exercises in case you don't have all of the equipment that I'm going to be using today. All right, let's go ahead and have a seat in the chair. Take in a deep breath, inhale up. On your exhale, we're going to twist and extend those arms out. Inhale back to center and exhale other side. This time we're going to extend a leg out. Inhale back to center. Exhale opposite leg. And let's do this 2 more times. Each time finding length through your spine. Feel that nice stretch. Just a feel good exercise here. And relax that down. All right, let's heel toe the feet out and in. Out and in. It doesn't matter where I put my equipment. It seems like every time I have to end up moving. I put it in a different place every time, but I always have to end up moving it. And one more time out, and we're going to hold it out. Inhale up. Exhale, rest that forearm on your thigh and reach that arm over. Inhale back to center. Stretch on the other side. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Let's do this again. I know where I am here in Western Kentucky, we've had a pretty warm day, been mostly sunny today. And one more on each side. So I hope whatever you're doing today that you've really enjoyed it. And bring it back to the center. And since we're here, we're going to go ahead and turn in the chair. Take that outside leg and stretch back. And let's do some arm circles here. One more. And step your feet together. Let's come back to the front. Big step to the other side. Big arm circles. Two more. And one more. Step your feet together. Bring it back to the front. Let's do some heel raises and then toe raises. So raise the heels, set it back, raise the toes. And let's add in some wrist circles. And circle the other way. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Relax that down. Wiggle through your fingers. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Wiggle, wiggle, and stretch. And relax that down. Some shoulder rolls. And circle the other way. And let's swim the arms here. Alternate that arm on top. This time, reach around, grab that chair, and lean into your stretch. And relax. Let's take our feet out wide. Let's inhale forward and exhale round and roll up. Exhale forward. Inhale round and roll up with those shoulders dropping away from the ears, sitting up tall. One more time. Exhale forward. Inhale round and roll up. And let's extend one leg out. Exhale forward. Inhale back. We're going to do this 2 more times. And on this last time, we're going to hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that leg. Cross over the opposite knee. Exhale forward. Inhale back. 2 more times. All right, this last time, we're going to hold it forward. 3, 2, 1, and relax. We're going to do those 2 exercises on the other side. Exhale forward. 2 more. All right, this one we're going to hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. Take that into the hip stretch. Exhale as you stretch. Inhale as you relax. All right, get ready. We're going to hold this last one. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, let's get some squats in here. So we're going to stand up. You can come all the way down, seated in the chair, or you can stand up and tap the chair. So that's a little more challenging. That'll challenge your balance a little more. Crossing hands over shoulders will also challenge your balance, but you can hold your hands down at either side. You can extend your arms out, which this may help with your balance as you're lowering down and getting up. So you place your hands wherever it is comfortable for you to have them. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And relax. Let's come back to the center here and let's do some V taps. So V step here. 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, let's march in place here. Let's do some arm curls. We're going to keep this march going, but we're going to change up our arms. All right, so we're going to take our arms into a circle here, circle around. 1 more. Circle the other way. Last one. All right, inhale up and exhale. All right, so that is it for the warm-up, and I hope it did warm you up. Go ahead and grab a drink, and we are going to start with the band. All right, now if you don't have a band, you can also use a set of weights, and you can place those weights on your thighs, because what we're going to do is we're going to step out to either side. So we're going to alternate right and left, stepping out to the side. If you have no equipment at all, you can still tap out to the side. So a longer band would work best, but if you don't have a longer band and you have, maybe even smaller than this, if you've got, I don't have a small band. I usually have one down here, but I don't today. But if you have a smaller band, so it would fit a little more snugly around your ankles. But if you have a smaller band, you could always do that around the ankles. That would work. But this is the band I have. And if yours has handles, it's going to work just the same. It's just going to be, it's just going to look different because it's got handles. Mine doesn't. But either way, if you've got these long bands, you might want to catch the slack on it. If you've got those smaller bands, you probably won't have to. Just step into that, bring it up over your ankles, and then we're going to step out to the side. So like I said, you don't have to have any equipment. You can still go through the motion. If you're using a band, you're going to feel the tension. So you're going to feel that burn in your hips, in your glutes. And then if you have the weights, that's going to add some resistance. That'll probably, you probably feel that more on your hip flexors and quadriceps than you would in your glutes. But make do with what you've got. So this is a good exercise to work those muscles that are going to help you step in and out of a vehicle, in and out of a tub, maybe stepping over. You got to step over something. So it's going to keep your hip strong. I like to try to use those functional activities. I try to think of, like what we would do in a day, like, and then try to use an exercise that's going to mimic that. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're going to grab that band and we're going to do some shoulder work here. So again, we're going to catch the slack on the band and we're going to pull apart. We're not going to bring it all the way back in. We're going to leave a little bit of tension on that band, but we're going to pull. We're going to bring it back in. So pull. So you feel this in your shoulders. You'll feel this around on your upper back there, around the shoulder blade area. So make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Don't bring those shoulders up to your ears. Pull them down. It's a little bit of a bend in the elbows. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale as you pull, as you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're going to go back to the legs. All right, here we go. We're going to step out and in. So out, in, out, in. All right, we're going to hold this on the right. We're going to hold it out, and we're going to bring it in and out on the right for 3. 1 more, and in. On the left, hold it out. Step it in and out for 3, 2, and 1. On the right, hold it out. Step it in for 3, 2, 1. Hold it on the left. Step it in and out for 3, 2, back to singles, right, left, 4, 6, 5 more, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, grab that band. We're going to pull it apart. So squeeze those shoulder blades together and pull. Pull. Pull that belly button in. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I did not just realize I did not show a modification for that one. I don't know that I really have a great one, but you can always squeeze the shoulder blades together if you have no equipment. So you can squeeze, and you can feel those muscles work if you squeeze. You can also use weights. You can take it out. It's not really going to feel like a pull, and you are working some different muscles. But this would be also a modification for that. So, like I said, there are more muscles involved in using the weights. But if you have no equipment at all, this would be a good alternative. But like I said, if you don't have the band and you can squeeze those shoulder blades together, squeeze, you can visualize, think that you're pulling something and squeezing those muscles. All right, grab a drink if you need a drink. All right, so speaking of functional activities, at the beginning, we did some twists. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this in here before we move on to the next exercise. So my dad was telling me the other day that he had tried to back out and put his arm over, the seat there as he was driving. And he said that he was real stiff. And I was like, you need to be stretching. I tell him all the time he needs to stretch. Stretching is something, he lifts the weights and he does cardio, but he always foregoes the stretching. So I told him, I said, you need to be stretching. I'm like, you need to do those spine stretches. So when we were doing that, that's what that's good for. So little things like that we don't think about all the time. But those stretches through the spine, they help keep you loose and limber and flexible so that you can do those types of activities, or even just turning to look over your shoulder. A lot of times people, they'll get like a muscle cramp, or even like a really bad muscle soreness in their neck just from, turning. So it's important to do these stretches. All right, enough talking. Okay, so next up, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the weights if you have weights, and if you don't have weights, it's fine. So we're going to do some squats. Then we're going to hold, when we get to the last one, we're going to hold at the top. We're going to do some wall push-ups. All right, so grab your weights if you want to. You don't have to use weights, but we're just going to hold them at the sides, and we're going to stand and tap or stand and sit. Now, you could also just hold one weight. So if you need to, for balance, hold your arms out in front, then you can just hold one weight here. All right, so again, you can tap, stand, go ahead, sit all the way back, and stand. Four, three, two, and one. All right, now when we do our second round, I'm going to add some bicep curls onto that. All right, so you can place those in your chair. We're going to do some wall push-ups. So you're going to step up to the wall. You're going to step back so your arms are extended. So hands are under shoulders and about shoulder height. You're going to lower toward the wall. You're going to push back. So don't round. Don't also tuck your hips, pushing your hips forward. So try to keep that neutral spine nice and long. Exhale as you push. So keep those going. If you don't like those, or you don't want to do those, and you have a band, then you can bring your band around your back, and you can hold the handles or hold the ends, and you can push forward. So like this. Now the wall push-ups don't require any equipment. All right, let's do two more. Here's one and two. All right. Grab those weights. I put mine on the floor, but hopefully you've left yours in the chair. So grab those weights. And here we go. We're going to go back to those squats, and we're going to do a biceps curl on the way up. So have a seat or tap. Come all the way up. Now, you can go one arm at a time. And like I said, if you have no equipment, then you know what that's going to look like. It's just going to be going through the motion, but you can really squeeze that at the top. Squeeze that at the top. Let's keep going here. Make sure my microphone's turned on. I thought I accidentally hit it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, back to those wall push-ups. Or remember the modification with the band where you bring it around your back and you're pushing out. I think when I did that earlier, I'll just show you again. But so palms are down. I want to make sure, because I think I might have had my palms facing each other. I feel like it'd be easier on the wrist if palms are down and pushing that way. All right, otherwise we're on the wall here. So like I said, you're going to step back until your arms are extended but palms are flat on the wall, and you're going to exhale during your push. Nice long spine. Go at your own pace. 3, 2, last one. All right, step it in. Let's bring that back to the chair, and we are actually going to hang on to these weights. We're going to do one more exercise with the weights, and then we'll finish up with the ball. All right, so we're going to have the weights by at either side. Palms are facing in towards your body. We're going to lift and pour. So we're going to lift, then we're going to rotate that shoulder, so thumb side down. All right, so this is like pouring a pitcher of tea, iced sweet tea, or pouring a gallon of milk, whatever it is. So we're going to alternate sides. All right, so if you haven't joined with me, join with me. We're going to lift and pour. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, set those on your thighs. We're going to lift, we're going to extend, set down, we're going to alternate here. So remember, shoulders are away from the ears and back. Spine is nice and long, belly button pulled in. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now let's see if we can do both arms at the same time for a few. At least try a few. One more. And then if you want to keep going like that, you can, or you can do singles, one arm at a time. Exhale during that hard part. Let's do 2 more. Here's 1 and 2. All right, let's set those weights down. All right, I lied. If you have the band, let's step in the band. We're going to do one more pulling exercise. So again, we're going to catch the slack and we're going to pull. So we're going to pull. Elbows are going to come back. They're going to come just beside, they're in front of the hip. We're going to pull it right beside the rib cage, and elbows will come behind you. So we're going to pull. Sometimes doors are heavy. Think about all the things that you use those pulling muscles for. Three. Palms are facing your body. Last one. And relax. All right. Now that is it with the band. That is it with the weights. Grab a drink, and then we're going to finish up here with the ball. Now, if you don't have a ball, you could use a pillow. We're going to do some inner thigh, and then we're also going to push on the ball. So A ball would work best for the pushing motion, but I guess the pillow maybe would work for that. You could always just push into the floor. You might feel if you're pushing in, if you've got the one foot lifted and you're pushing with the other and you're really pressing in, you might feel that activation in your hamstrings and your glutes, which is, essentially this is what this is doing. All right, so we're going to start with that ball between our knees, and we're just going to squeeze, release. Now, if you have no equipment, you could always squeeze the knees together. I'm sure you'll feel that in the inner thighs. Squeeze, release. So if you really press your knees together, not to a point of where you hurt anything or strain anything, but if you push and release. Otherwise, we've got this ball. This time we're going to press and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Press and hold. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Back to singles. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's step on the ball. So we're going to press and release. So I've got my right foot on the ball. We're going to switch. We'll do the other side. Push and release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's put that back between the knees. Then we'll go to the other side. So squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And this time we're going to squeeze and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Squeeze and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Back to singles for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put that ball back on the floor. We're going to step on it with the other foot. We're going to push and relax. Push and relax. And like I said, you can always come on the toes or lift the other foot and push into the floor. Push into the floor and feel that activation through the hamstrings and the glute. It's a little easier done here with the ball, especially, one that's soft and gives. 3, 2, and 1. All right, lift that ball. All right, we're going to take our legs out wide. So if you have a smaller ball and you can grab that ball, we're going to lift it down and up. Then we're going to switch, lift down and up. Now, if you don't have a ball, you could use a light set of weights, or instead of using any equipment, you can lift down. You could always squeeze up. So we're working all of those little muscles here in the forearm and the hands, those gripping. So you could reach and squeeze. So if you've got a ball that's small enough, we're going to reach it down. We're going to bring it up. We're going to reach it down. We're going to bring it up. So we're going to alternate. We're going to switch the hands. So reach and lift. Sitting up nice and tall. 4 more. Belly button pulled in. 3, 2, and 1. All right, slide those feet in. All right, so this time we're going to reach out, in, and we're still going to alternate that hand, reaching out and in. And we're going to add in a heel tap with that arm reach. So same thing with that previous exercise. You can make a fist, relax in, fist, relax in, or you can hold that fist the entire time, but we're alternating here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's march. Squeeze that ball, relax. Let's squeeze it up and down. Squeeze it up, relax it down. Squeeze, relax. Squeeze, relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we are finished with all of the equipment, and we're going to get some ab work in before we cool down and stretch. All right, so we're going to lean back in the chair. We're going to extend a leg out, return to this seat upright position, and then we're going to go to the other side. So you can hang on to your chair if you need to. You can go opposite arm, opposite leg. You can reach out or up, overhead, either one. You can also do a knee instead of a leg extension. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come back to the center. Take your feet out wide, and we're going to reach in. We're going to go 2 on either side, and then we're going to switch sides. Now you can always go here. If you can do this without the support on your thigh, you can always reach that arm down. Hang in there. We're almost to the end. Last time here and back to the center. All right, we're going to lift both knees and down. So we're going to hang on to the chair, lift, and set it down. So lift and down, lift and down. Now, you can extend, you can lift here. Come up a little more to the edge of my chair. You can lift here or here. 5, 4, you can go one at a time. 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's bring it back to the front. One more exercise. We're going to do a toe tap. So we're going to reach for the toe. So hands can be where you want them. I like mine up here. You can put yours wherever you feel comfortable with it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Take in a deep breath. Inhale up and exhale. All right. Grab yourself a drink, and we are going to stretch. All right. Reach out, grab your chair, and lean into the stretch here. And relax that back. Let's extend one leg out. Come forward, grab those toes, and pull back towards your shin. Really flex those toes toward the shin. And then lift your legs, circle through your ankle. Circle the other way. And set your heel down, wiggle through your toes. Pull your toes in, stretch out. Pull your toes in, stretch out. And other foot comes out, toes are up. Exhale forward. Flex those toes toward your shin. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this workout today. I know that I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of variety. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's what you were looking for. I hope you feel good now that you've got that checked off of your things to do today. Relax that back. Lift that leg, circle through your ankle. Sometimes I don't really want to show up for the exercise. I wish I could just feel good without doing it, but I don't. And so, but when I do it, I feel so good. I feel wonderful. I feel like I've really accomplished something in my day. And circle the other way and relax that down. All right, lift that right leg, cross over the left knee. Exhale forward. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish I could get that feeling, but sometimes I just don't. Like I don't have the motivation to get up and do it. At least not at the beginning. I think I exercise. I try to do something at least every day because I know I'm going to feel good afterwards. But it's just the getting there is sometimes I got to really talk myself into it sometimes. But I always feel so good after I've done it. And relax that back. All right, let's turn in the chair. Take that outside leg and stretch it back. And lengthen that spine. And let's just roll the shoulder on this side. And circle the other way. And let's inhale that arm up. And reach. Find that length through your spine. And relax that down. We're going to stay right here. We're going to grab on either side of the chair and we're going to twist to the back. With every breath, find some length in your spine. On your last exhale, turn yourself around, come back to the center. And other side. And roll that shoulder. And roll the other way. And relax it down and reach that arm. Inhale up and reach. And relax everything. Step your feet together. Twist around to the back of the chair. Big relaxing breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And come on around to the front. Roll those shoulders back and down. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. We're going to hold it here. Then you're going to turn your head. You're going to look down at that shoulder. Back to the front, to the center, other side. Turn your head, look at that shoulder. Back to the front, back to the center, and then we're just going to turn to the right. And center left. And center, bring one arm up and cross it over your body. And we're going to pull that arm toward the chest. Feel that stretch. And then we're going to lift that arm up. We're going to reach behind, touch behind the neck or the upper part of the back. And if you want to, you can gently press that elbow back. Feel that stretch the triceps. And then other side. So with this stretch, hopefully you're going to feel that when we were pulling that band apart. You'll feel that in that area around the shoulder there that we were working. All right, bring that arm up. Again, touch behind the neck or the upper part of the back there. You can gently press. You can go here or you can go here with that elbow. I feel it better if I go here. And relax that down. Wiggle through your fingers. Circle through your wrists. Circle the other way. And wiggle. And we are going to round the upper back, tuck your chin to your chest, and you can interlock your fingers and stretch out here, or you can interlock your fingers, turn your palms out. If you can do that, if that's not too hard on your wrists. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale that up, exhale down, and that is it, guys. One more big breath in, and one more exhale. All right, that completes this workout. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you the next time. Have a wonderful day.